Shipwreck by Richard Platt. Abandoned ship! When seafarers hear these dreaded words, they drop whatever they are doing and they rush for their lives. There is rarely time to gather property, and rescue boats have no room for luggage. So countless personal possessions and everyday objects sink with the wreck. When carefully raised and documented, these items can provide a wealth of information. Most objects are ordinary, and nobody would call them sunken treasure. But to the marine archaeologist, they can be worth more than a cargo of gold. The abandoned possessions of the crew give a vivid picture of what life was like on board a ship. Tools and equipment may provide clues to the identity and date of a wreck. The location of these implements also help archaeologists to assemble, in a jigsaw fashion, parts of a wreck that have been broken up by strong currents. Look here, some pharmacist bottles. Here's an old gun carriage. And this measured out gunpowder for the cannons. Here we have an old musket, some scissors. And what is this mess here? Looks like it's just a bunch of silverware that got stuck together in one rock. In bundles and bales, barrels and boxes, cargo filled the holds of merchant ships. Its weight was essential to keeping the ship upright during a voyage. In a wreck, however, a heavy cargo dragged the ship down. Bringing a cargo to the surface is called salvage. It's worthwhile only if the cargo is valuable and seawater has not harmed it. If a wreck can be identified, old documents can reveal in minute detail the contents of the hold. Therefore, divers often know exactly what they're looking for and even where to find it. They do not always keep everything they bring to the surface, though. Salvage divers must pay the rightful owner a portion of the value of everything recovered. Even if the wreck has rotted on the seabed for centuries, its cargo still belongs to someone. Here are some of the things that have been recovered. Some coins, some banknotes, some barrels, maybe a pipe. That might be a pipe. Look at a matchbox with its matches. When divers have finished measuring and taking photographs of a wreck, they attempt to raise it from the ocean floor. Study and conservation begins on dry land. Objects made of hard materials such as stone may only need to be washed. However, most require further treatment. Timber shrink, and iron objects such as cannons sometimes corrode so quickly in the air that they actually fizz and heat up. Museum conservators have developed treatments to stop or reverse this decay. Their most important task is to protect the finds for historians to study. But they also need to show them to the public. It's not always easy to do both. Objects that fascinate scholars may look like dull lumps of wood to museum visitors, and the public display of a fragile treasure for 1 year can do more damage than a century spent underwater. Look at this restoration. Before and after. Isn't that beautiful? And this one over here, they carefully and painstakingly put this broken jar back together. Shipwrecks have always fascinated writers, painters, and dramatists, but the very first shipwreck yarns were myths. These traditional stories often featured gods and heroes. Through myths, people in ancient times tried to explain and understand natural forces that govern their lives. In later ages, shipwreck stories enthralled people because they were a terrifying yet common experience. Ships were the fastest way to travel, and ocean voyages were more dangerous than they are today. It's not hard to see why shipwrecks still capture the imagination of modern storytellers. Sea voyages bring together people of different characters and backgrounds. The wreck is a dramatic climax. Survival on a raft or island brings out the best and worst in everybody, and a rescue always provides a happy ending. This story right here of Robinson Crusoe, I recently heard, actually has sold the second largest number of copies around the world of any book. You might want to check it out and read it sometime. It's been made into multiple movies as well. Hope you've enjoyed learning about shipwrecks with me today, and we will see you next week when we learn about items that are animals that have tentacles, such as octopus and squid. See you then.